Can you hear me well? Yeah.
Mm.
I hope you have still some energy. So yeah, I will talk about Qonto, how we use NoCode, and I will talk about my story, the story of Qonto. So Qonto, what is it first? Okay, me, and me. And I think yeah.
It's not a good slide?
No, that's okay. This one is okay. So Qonto is a new bank, so providing banking capabilities to SMEs. So associating NoCode with banking, it's kind of weird, right? And yeah, I will tell you the story. The story is only one slide, so really easy for me. But yeah, it's the timeline. Basically, in the story of Qonto, we started to invest into APIs, and this is important. We started to invest in the APIs in 2018, so 5 years ago, and it was before any regulation about open banking for those who knows. And with these APIs, we had an ecosystem of accounting software starting to build things on top of Qonto, like automation to get the statement, the banking transaction, and injecting the data into their software. So compared to the historical, traditional legacy tools to automate, synchronize the statements like ABIX, the API is really bringing a lot of value. And yeah, we started to have kind of a community, an ecosystem around us. And then in 2020, we decided to launch a marketplace. And in this marketplace, we wanted really to show the value of this ecosystem. And we tried to do one thing. We tried to build our own integration. So I think it was at that time that you joined also Qonto, Shubham, for the good memories. So we tried to build a Slack integration. We said, okay, we want an integration that is easy to build. And the idea is when you have a new transaction, when your balance gets updated, you could have a message in a specific Slack channel so that you are aware on your cash flow management. So yeah, we said, okay, it will be easy, but actually, I will tell you the story. We took 3 months to build the thing, and at the end, after the 3 months, what happened is that the week after the launch, actually the customer were saying to us, okay, this is good, but actually, what I would like is not to have the transaction that is above this specific amount, is to have the amount of the transaction that is card, debit for this specific user, and each of our users have a different granularity level. It means for us, we have invested 2 backends, 2 frontends for 3 months, and actually we had to reinvest again to maintain this integration and answer to a higher granularity of customer needs. So this is costly, and it's costly if you compare to our core business at Qonto. We do payments. We're a bank, we do payments. We don't do integration. We don't do integration for Slack. So here we had a trade-off because yeah, the problem is that building integration, it has a value for our customer. We want to master the quality. And in order to master the best quality, we want to be able to build our integration. But we cannot afford to take 3 months of our backend and frontend to build this type of integration. So hence, we started to really have a theory around how to build an integration ourselves without maybe requiring some backends. And we launched 2 external integrations with Zapier, with Integromat at that time. Now it's Make. And the goal of this integration was to provide automation for customers where they can easily do simple if this then that using either Zapier and Make. It had a really great success, and it led us to a path where basically we wondered if it was possible for us to re-internalize this logic. Because between Qonto and the third-party SaaS, basically, it's always the same. I have data here. I want to do something here. I have a data here. I want to do something there. So it's a if this then that on one side or the two sides or the other side. So we started to look at, classic build versus buy. Shall we build our own logic, our own engine of if this then that to be able to in NoCode build basically our integration in the same fashion as Make or Zapier. And so yeah, I think we dig a lot there. We looked at how to create our own language. I think Payfit did that with the Jetlang. Payfit is a French also fintech. But when we started to investigate this path, actually it rapidly became really complicated. And there is one aspect to it, is that in our constraints, we didn't want to have any maintenance. We want a product manager to be able to maintain the integration, and we don't want, in terms of strategical usage of the resources, we don't want to use the backend team or the front-end team to maintain. So we had to find another option than building our own engine and our own language. So then we looked at the buy, and we found an engine, what we call an iPaaS engine, Integration Platform as a Service. And yeah, we started to, we bought it, and we started to plug this engine to Qonto. And it allowed us basically to build integration as a product manager, following something that is very similar to Integromat, but is not seen by the end user. And you get some kind of a wizard of allowing an installation flow. And right now we have a dozen of integration that has been built thanks to this iPaaS engine. Everything has been built in NoCode. And I wanted to share the past year we have been working intensively in NoCode. And the learning that we have here is that I think we face all of the problem a junior engineer will face when starting to code. Basically, we didn't thought about the performance, we didn't thought about the error management, the alerting, we didn't thought about the edge case. And part of the learning that I wanted to share is that the first thing, so we hit the wall many times. The first thing that we did is that we started to standardize. So the problem was, okay, we were building the feature as product manager, really like in an amateur fashion, like really trying to build it, not thinking about it, but just build it. But at Qonto, we know how to build. We have an operating system for that. So this is a screenshot, maybe not really readable, but this is the operating system for any of the features we build at Qonto. It's composed by a value analysis. The product manager is thinking about the concepts, talking to customer, trying to position the product versus the competitions. At the end of the value analysis, you got a concept. You propose in value engineering, you include the tech team to think about all of the issue, the constraints, technical constraints, the edge case, the performance issue you may have. Try to crack each of these problems and find the best solution to each of these problems. By aggregating all of these solutions, you get a prototype that you specify, that you develop, that you QA, and you can release it. So basically, this one, we know exactly how it works. The thing is that we were not applying the standard that we used to apply for any of the other features, because it was no code. So one of the first things we did is that we came back actually to what we knew, what was the standard, meaning splitting the task between product manager and makers. Product manager responsible of the value analysis, working with the tech team in the value engineering, makers, specialists, engineers that are here to think about the performance issue, think about the edge case, how technically the integration will work, and very similar to actually a backend stack in our world. So this split is part of the professionalization that we had to come up because of all of the issues we faced. Then a word about quality. We also worked on the standards, and I will share with you like 3 things that really made us improve a lot the quality of our NoCode integration. So first one is BPMN. BPMN is a standard for flowcharts. It's allowed to better visualize the logic behind any of the logical flow that we built. Gherkin is a tool to write QA tests. And at Qonto, quality is key. We are dealing with banking transaction. We don't want banking transaction to be altered or sent the wrong way. So we really focus on that. So here's an example of a QA plan on applying to Gherkin. And the logic is given when then, precondition, action, postcondition. And this is really key to master the quality, identify all of the edge case, and be really strong on this quality parts. The last one is about monitoring and performance, and you will see that for all of the NoCode tools, usually it's something that is underperforming, this part. So we had to build actually our own monitoring, alerting, and performance dashboard to be able to have the same level of quality as any other stack that we have at Qonto. All right, that's it for me. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much. Do we have question? That reminds me a lot of stuff. But do we have question on the Qonto side, on how they build it, how they industrialize it? Yep, there is one over here, and there is one. Okay, the first one is over there, then you're second, and then Joyce is third. Yep,
thank you.
Go for it.
Hello, I'm Thomas from PayFit. We should talk after. I have a question actually about the iPass solution you used. Okay. Do you mind sharing with us which it is or how you selected it?
Yeah, it's around Trade.io, Workato, and the last one. I can give an example. Yeah, Make. It's one of the 3.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, the second one. So there's one. All right. Okay, so there's.
Hi.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go for it. It's okay.
So you're in banking. So security, privacy, all of that. How did you deal with that internally? Is it a separate NoCode team and a big legal team that asks a lot of questions? How does that work?
Yeah, that's really key. So to choose the iPass engine, we did like an analysis. We have a process of RFP, request for proposal, that is really extensive at Qonto. Sorry. And when you say, okay, build versus buy, you decide to buy, then you have this RFP, security comes into this RFP, put all of the conditions. We work with the provider, if it's the iPass engine, to really have everything under control. So yeah, we have a security team at Qonto. We are involved directly in the decision of the purchase of the iPass engine. For what it's related to the third party, we apply OAuth 2, which is the standard for PSD2 integration, regulated regulation around open banking. So basically, we describe the data that you want to share, actions that are available, and yeah, you can consent to it. It's typical consent flow.
Thank you.
So another question. Yeah, it's over here. Stephen, yeah, in the front. Thank you.
Thank you. To be honest, I had the exact same question as the previous one, but then I was wondering, once it is set up internally, let's say, or settled, have you been audited, or were there any external authorities who have checked that it was safe?
Yes, so we do have internal auditor, external auditor. Like we are regulated by the ACPR as a payment institution. So it's pretty. This year we had 12 weeks of audits from the ACPR, like 12 weeks. They were in a room, always with us. Like it's a deep audit, but we do also have compulsory internal audits for the security part.
Were you 100% certain, or let's say, yes, confident that it would be okay because you really seriously studied all the questions, everything, all the pain points and so on?
Yeah, we had the audit, so yeah, I'm pretty. So we have the result, and I can say.
Yes,
that.
I know you had, but just before that, to what extent were you anxious about it, or you were pretty sure that it was okay?
No, thanks to the RFP process, actually, because we include the security team directly in the decision of purchasing or not. So yeah, no specific problem on this part.
Thanks for the question. There is one over here. Yes, Stephanie, there is one just in the front here. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for the talk. Very interesting. Just one question, and I think it's more general to all these sessions. Is there something similar today, like no-code architect, like an emerging role? Being a no-code architect, because we can see that it's more and more complex for big use case in big companies and serious business like yours. So can we talk today about roles like that emerging? Or?
Yeah, actually at Qonto, so right now, the makers, the specialists of implementing or building the integration are under the backend team. And so yeah, it's considered like a backend language, as Go or Ruby is a language, and we do have architects within Qonto, experts of the architecture for backends. So yeah, they are directly. You don't have to consider it as you have to consider it as another language of backend logic or front-end logic, and then it's included directly in the organization.
Do we have other questions? And just on that a bit, because usually people tend to start with tools instead of problems, and that's the big problem of no-code. They're like, "Hey, I found this. Let's try to do something with it," and it happens in code as well. But that's true that there is a emerging kind of role that's happening, which is like, okay, how do we orchestrate all that? That's what Fabrice was talking earlier, and. It's true that people in tech, like backend developers and real code architect, API architect, etc., have more experience in that. So usually they are the best place to do that because no-code is only an extra layer of abstraction on what's happening. So, and even API architects, it's pretty much the same as well. Like people that are good API architects, they have backend knowledge, and because it's all about performance, orchestration, etc. But I'm sure it's emerging more and more, so yeah. There was another, yes, go for it.
Yes, please. So what's the ratio of makers people versus the old legacy developers?
Old legacy.
Not legacy. We have both. The thing is, the question that no code versus other language depends on your bandwidth, basically. And how you expect to maintain this chunk of code, basically, and what's the level of abstraction you expect. I will give you, we have over usage of no-code within Qonto. And the choice between Qonto and no-code and code is really about like who needs to be, who is using, who is maintaining, We are, for the back office, for example, all of them, we are using Forest, so it's a low-code, no-code/low-code tool for the back office. And it's maintained by the ops team. So we made the choice to go there because we didn't want the backend team to maintain this, and it was more easier for the ops team directly actively using it to maintain it themselves. And it's a bit the same for the integration. We want to have also, we wanted at the beginning to be really close to the product manager, but right now I think it's more an opportunity to have makers there that can maintain it and the backend team to use at more the core business, core value of Qonto, which means payments.
All right. Do we have other questions? Or are we good? All right, super cool. Thank you very much. A big round of applause for Maxime, please.